Welcome to Pride Against Prejudice, a Shadowrun 4th edition actual play podcast.
Hi, I'm Simon and I'm playing Huggy Bear.
Hi, I'm Al and I'll be playing Maverick.
Hi, I'm Jack and I play Toyga.
Hi, I'm Michael and I'll be playing Sunshine.
Hi, my name is Rosie, pronouns they, them, and I'm playing Sally Boom Boom, pronouns she, her.
And my name is Rhydian, I am the GM. If you would like any bonus content, a link to our living campaign map can be found in the show notes, along with a link to our Discord where you can get occasional bonus episodes, and if you'd like to add locations to the map or just ask us questions, you're welcome to join us there. If you stick about for a few seconds at the end of the episode, we also have a question for you as well. Following content may contain themes and materials not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Before we dive into the episode, here's some pay data on another one of the Shadowrun podcasts out there for you to listen to.
You ever wanted to play Shadowrun? You know, the cyberpunk tabletop game where man meets magic and machine. It's too hard though, right? Too crunchy? Too clunky? It's a lot of math. Wrong! Ping.wav is a Shadowrun 2nd edition actual play podcast, played by the rules, but fast and loose, with all the 80s cyberpunk edginess you know and love, where the hair is big and the explosions are bigger. Follow the story of two rad Shadowrunners, making a name for themselves in the mean streets of 2053 Seattle. Tina Bonemeal, 9.5 feet of pure troll muscle, surveillance expert, and aspiring actress. John Anderson, former company man, with a resume shrouded in mystery and a black belt Nikito. Check out Ping.wav podcast, available everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Sunshine has successfully downloaded the data on the Pride bombing. Now, the team need to work out how to spring Sally from jail. First problem, how do we talk to her without arousing suspicion? Sunshine, you've just managed to steal the investigation database in the last session. Where are we going from here?
So I just quickly send to the team, got the data, gonna figure out a way to get it off site.
On our comlinks, presumably?
I've been in the office for like hours at this point, haven't I, Red?
Yeah, several hours.
Yeah. Okay, guys, alright. I'm burned. I'm going for a soy calf. I'll be back in 5.
Yeah, so Sergeant Milton comes out of VR and blinks for a few moments. I think they were trying to get Doom to run on potatoes or something last session.
I believe they had several potatoes plugged into our old graphics calculator and were trying to get Doom to run on that.
Those weren't potatoes, those were officers.
But how can you tell the difference?
I know it's difficult to tell the difference, but please try.
Sergeant Milton looks at you blinking for a few seconds as he comes out of VR and his brain's readjusting to the change in view, and he says, yeah, sure. Do you want one of us to go with you?
I mean, I've got it on this VR map. I should be fine. I could use a minute to clear my head, to be honest. Thanks, though. Another time.
Yeah, fair.
Do you want me to bring you back one?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay, cool.
Can you put an extra shot of caffeine syrup in there for me?
Yeah, no problem.
The really strong stuff, the stuff that makes you taste purple.
I think I know the one, but yeah, I'll do my best.
Thanks.
No worries.
Yeah, he drops back into VR, and the break room, if you go out the door, turn right, it's just at the end of the corridor.
Cool. So I'm not actually going there. I'm gonna... Rid, would I be able to... Can I basically, like, put the data onto a USB drive or equivalent and then sneakernet that away?
For the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to say that you can shove it onto a data chip or onto your comlink or something.
Cool.
Like, you put it on your comlink and it uploads to the cloud. Shadowrun being what it is, well, Shadowrun at this point being what it is. We're not playing 2nd edition where we have to worry about mega pulses.
Yeah. Okay,
This
cool.
is not actually a particularly large data set. We just, store it. It is stored.
Cool. I was more just thinking, get it off-site just in case, something bad happens. But yeah, if I can just put it on my Horizon drive and just put it on the cloud, then yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so data acquired. Now the only thing we have to do is rescue a convicted criminal from an immensely secure position within a police station without alerting any of the police officers, all of whom are chomping at the bit for literally anything to do. So yeah, won't be difficult, won't take long.
Not alerting them is possibly not part of our plan. Out of character, I had a bit of a conversation with Ryd about how fake sins work. And the contents of that conversation are stuff that all of us would know, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to share them with the group.
For somebody in universe, this would be kind of, well, if not common knowledge, then maybe common sense.
Certainly for people like us who all live on fake sins.
Yeah.
If we just vanish from this cop station, we don't come into work tomorrow, our sins are going to basically get flagged.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same as burned.
Right.
But if we ever try and use those sins again with an NYPD sin scanner, they will go, Officer O'Connor, you vanished from duty.
Right. Okay, so what's the solution?
One of the things that brings about is that if we just walk out of here completely cleanly, they will go, that's funny, those officers didn't show up. I wonder what happened. I wonder what they did. And possibly go digging, and possibly find the data trail of Sunshine copying those files.
Right, so what's our solution?
Which would be a fail of this job. The possible solution is that we get caught doing something else, and conveniently, we have another job in here.
Okay, but that will definitely burn our sins.
We don't actually have to get caught. Again, it will get them flagged with NYPD, which means we can still use them with other corps if we're lucky.
Okay, so we...
And we don't actually have to get caught breaking Sally out, as long as something ties us to that crime.
Right.
On this approximate subject, I have a couple of ideas of how we break Sally out.
Okay, shoot.
So, while you're having this conversation, Sunshine, you're in the break room, and I'm assuming you're doing this on, a subvocal mic or something like that?
Or text, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the other police officers in the break room, he's trying to have that, so what precinct were you at before kind of conversation with you? Just small talk, trying to talk to you whilst you're trying to have this very important conversation with Mav.
Hey, yeah, sorry. Okay, look, I just transferred in from 99. Gotta be honest, having the first day from hell, nothing wants to work. I've heard of tech gremlins, but this is just fragging ridiculous.
So he goes, oh, yeah, getting signed onto that system is a fragging nightmare. I mean, if you've had a crappy day, do you want to go for a beer afterwards or something?
I've got plans, but maybe another time? Thanks, though. Appreciate it.
He looks a little disappointed and says, oh, yeah, sure. No worries.
Another time.
Yeah.
This was a plans with the wife moment that could have...
Do not mention her in my presence.
Plans with the wife, the husband, the spouse, the other wife, the other husband.
He goes back over to his mate, one of the other officers, who's just giving him this look of, well, you struck out.
Right. I hop back on the chat. Sorry about that.
It's almost like we're at work or something.
Yeah, and what would working for the police be if not involving a small amount of harassment?
Oh, joyous.
You know, for the first job I've ever had, this is surprisingly exciting.
Trust me, they're not all like this.
I can see why you people do this gainful employment nonsense.
Really?
No, I'm joking. This is awful. I want to go home.
We'll see about making that happen.
At this point, Tony is scrawling formulae on the whiteboard.
You misspelled thaumaturgic.
I don't care, it's not part of the spell.
Yeah, but you misspelled it in Enochian.
I'm dyslexic in English, okay?
And Enochian melts your brain.
Yes!
So unmelt it and learn to spell.
I told you.
Just because you can't spell with magic doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to spell with literature or writing.
He actually takes a deep breath, turns around, looks you in the eye and says, "Look, I told you I'm dyslexic. If you want to make this an HR matter, we can."
Well, you called me a slur, so...
We're going to ignore both of these things and say they cancel each other out. And start again. Please. Just not that.
Fair enough. But if you don't correct your spelling, the whole spell will blow up in your face and possibly...
Not
nuke
part of the
the
spell.
campaign.
Also, is it chachencha or chacharacha?
Baboan.
Bollocks.
Anyway,
What are we meant to be doing at this point?
breaking Sally out.
Oh, right, yes. Our friend in the jail.
Question.
Go on.
We're in the police system.
Mm-hmm.
Can we, see Sally's, trial data? Her, why is she in there?
That sounds like a browse roll to me.
I'm going to fail at this, and then Sunshine is going to succeed.
However, I am going to say that you can do it off the station's cyber terminal, which has a browse program of 4. You don't have to use your own comlink for this.
That is significantly better than mine. However, it will leave an awful data trail. Actually, no, this is the data trail I kind of do want to leave.
Alright, well, give me a browse roll then.
Yes, that is better than mine.
If you have the data search skill, that's linked to the browse program.
I do not.
Okay, you don't have it, so just go off the program. Just roll 4 dice for me.
I get nothing,
So you just put in her name as Sally Boom Boom,
which is not her name.
which is not her name.
Ali Boom Boom, daughter of Reginald and Josephine Boom Boom.
Absolute Egypts.
Of Carson, New York State.
Also, out of character thought,
Oh dear.
is there any way for you to stage your deaths so that these sins don't become problematic for the police?
That gets the sins turned off if we
Okay,
die.
right. Just thought I'd throw that in there, but that's fine. Carry on.
Decent suggestion doesn't work.
So, what I'm thinking is,
Okay.
there's a couple of options here. One of them is that she's supposed to be getting transferred soon.
Yep.
You get yourselves assigned to that transport.
Well, and we just drive her out of here.
I have a lot of very angry orcs and trolls with various weapons on them. You accidentally drive the transport into the wrong alleyway, we jump it.
Yeah.
Huggy, are you about to go and buy another school bus?
Huggy, your school bus habit is tearing this found family apart.
Just one more, I swear. I can quit anytime I want.
We don't need a school bus if Mav is either driving the vehicle or sitting next to the driver and can tase him.
Mav, your tasing driver's habit is tearing this found family apart.
I don't believe I have tased any drivers before.
They always say that.
That's because that's an incredibly niche thing and no one's ever done it.
This is what we said about Huggy's school bus habit before it started.
But that has happened twice.
Yeah, fair.
It only happened once with a school bus, okay?
The other time was a garbage truck, that's true.
Yeah, the other one was a bin lorry.
Your municipal vehicles habit.
Just because I enjoy using municipal service vehicles to perform hit and runs doesn't mean that's my only trick.
If you do this enough, I am going to have to give you the calling card negative quality.
Municipal vehicle.
Really, this would be signature style rather than calling card.
Okay, so what are we using this time? Street sweeper?
I was thinking fire engine.
That'd be the slowest getaway ever, just on a street sweeper.
No, we're not using it as a getaway vehicle. We're using it as a battering ram.
You're going to be run over by a street sweeper in like half an hour.
Oh.
Alright, so how are you actually going about this?
But I think that we just, at some point while the vehicle is driving through a degraded area, it happens to stop at a set of lights, and then a large number of angry Sons members happen to show up and shoot up anybody who stops us from taking Sally out of it.
Yeah, no, that works.
Decent plan.
Yeah?
You guys can either be tragically lost in the crossfire, or, listed as missing, presumed dead, or listed as inside agents who have made this whole thing happen. Whatever is most convenient for you.
Can someone who is not me look in the police systems and try and find any information on Sally? Like what she's done, where she's being tried, when she's being tried?
Yeah, sure. Have I got mine at the same sort of desk as Mav, yeah?
Yeah, there'll be a cyber terminal in there. Do you have the data search skill at all?
No.
I didn't think you would. Okay, so in that case, roll me 4 dice. Let me know how many hits you get.
Roly-poly. I got a hit.
So remind me, exactly what you're searching for, please.
So I was basically going to look in the active prisoners database, see if I can get a breakdown of who's in what cell, and then find female orc suspected of bomb crimes.
Yeah, you can find that.
Sorry, the phrase bomb crimes.
Bomb crimes.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
This is why it's only one hit.
Well, the thing is bomb, a thing is very good, so those are some bomb crimes, yo. Now let's head up.
Never do that again, buddy.
Let's hit up the rave discotheque and have a
Please stop before we all strain something.
Alright, so yeah, you can find out which cell Sally's in. What's Sally's real name?
I'm going to say something Morag, because that was something first thing that came into my head.
I mean, if you're going to go with more rags, then Katie is the obvious first name.
Let's go with Shona. Shona Morag.
Shona Morag, alright. So yeah, you find someone in Shona brackets, Sally Boom Boom, Morag, Cell 5. There's a bunch of biometrics and stuff like that in there as well.
36? I need to find out what her skincare routine is. Right.
For an orc, that's actually pretty good going. She's, to be honest, she's probably actually a lot younger than that. That's just what her fixin' said. You had found Sally's information. It's just very basic information, like this is the cell she's in, this is her name, she's accused of this, that kind of thing.
This is how many times she's bitten the guards.
What is she accused of? And how many times has she bitten the guards?
Whoever wrote this was really catty and unpleasant. There's no need to write bad dye job and ugly choice of nail polish. This is just mean.
She's accused of terrorism, a list of things involving explosives, murder, assault, attempted assault.
Arson, jaywalking.
Jaywalking.
Yeah, basically they're just making up shit at this point. Yeah, like anything in it. This is one of those ones where it's a case of we don't care what we get her on, we just want to get her on something, and we're throwing everything at it and seeing what sticks.
Well, there's about to be a new count of murder the minute I get my hands on whoever said that was a bad dye job. Prepare to have your eyes exit through the back of your skull.
I'm not sure why Sally Boom Boom is less Irish and more, disgusted from Morningside this time around. Okay.
That's not where I've been. It goes walkies.
That's a very niche reference there, Michael.
Also, what is this attempted murder nonsense? Do they give out Nobel Prizes for attempted chemistry?
I just wasn't trying hard enough. I was underachieving that day.
Jaywalking, loitering with intent, loitering without intent, loitering without a permit.
Loitering without a permit is literally just loitering while drunk. Let's face it, guys.
Yeah.
No, that's on there. EWT, existing while trog.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm just going to write down who's responsible for the bad dye job and bad nail polish thing. She's certain to want to know who that was.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so she's in cell C, ground floor, opposite Johnny Knives, having replaced Big Davy. Right.
Yeah, I've got a micro tapper looking at her now. She's having an interesting conversation. And I managed to work mine through the ventilation system to just above her cell.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Okay, cool.
I think Sunshine's is in main computing stuff somewhere.
I think so.
One in the lockup was mine, and Toiger's got smooshed by a grimoire.
It did.
Grimoire, darling.
It went squelch.
So the micro tapper that is in the main database is going to be used for trying to get some more pay data out of this.
We could probably just sell the micro tapper. We don't actually have to do the data lift ourselves.
Yeah.
Or we can come back for it later.
True.
That might be tricky, given that we're trying to break Sally out.
In any case, breaking Sally out is currently our
Task.
priority.
Does that file have a trial time? Is it a trial? Is it a summary judgment?
It's probably coming up to lunchtime now. It's probably about 11:45. The trial is set for 2:30.
Is the trial within the police station? And do they have
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a courtroom in the police station.
Was I able to find what evidence they've got or where it's stored?
With one hit, not really. You're not great with computers, and you can't get the links to work properly, because whomever laid out this system they were having a Friday and didn't give a frag.
Yeah.
So my thinking is, this is going out via text, if Sunshine can find out where the evidence is and what the evidence is, if we can, destroy it...
What, the evidence against Sally?
She can just walk out.
Just we've got nothing to try you with. You're we literally can't hold you. Bugger
They
off.
can still make the existing wild trog charge stick.
Yeah.
Also, if you really think that they're going to just let her go, then you haven't existed in this world for a very long time.
No, I've not. It was a nice idea.
Seen people get convicted on significantly less than no evidence.
I will grow out of this naivete eventually.
Please don't. It's rather endearing.
Oh, thank you, Huggy.
While this is going on, Sunshine, one of the other techs comes into the break room and says to you, "You really want to get that coffee over? He's He's going to start getting drecky if
Oh.
you don't get it over to him soon.
Oh, Drek, yeah, thanks. Sorry, got caught up in a thing.
That's all right. Just make some
Yeah.
bull Drek up. But if he asks you to get coffee, don't hang about, yeah?
Sorry.
Hey, you don't need to apologise to me. It's you that's going to get him the Drek if you don't get him his coffee.
I get him a donut out of a vending machine on the way back.
Yeah, so when you head in, you can see that he's puffing up to start yelling at you. Are you just holding the peace offering out?
Yep. Hey, sorry I'm late. Got a call from 99. There's some case that I thought was done and dusted. Some fragment went and lost. Some stuff I had to reauthorize.
I don't want to know the details. Look, I was going to tell you a new one, but you brought donuts. You've clearly got a half-decent brain on you, so I'm just going to ignore it this time.
Okay, thanks.
But it's all right. Look, just tell your colleagues, if they ring you again, that you don't work there anymore. You're a different department now.
Yeah.
It's not your problem.
Okay.
If they get dracky about it, if they start making drac for you,
Yeah.
just CC me into the email, tell them to send it to you in writing,
Yeah.
and forward it to me, and I'll tell them to frag off. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, just please don't take your breaks for too long. We are time monitors on them. First, I'll get shouted at, then I have to shout at you. Do you want me to do that?
Not really.
Neither do I. So,
Okay. Yep.
go get logged on before somebody starts questioning it.
Before the system signs you out permanently.
This is getting uncomfortably like a real job.
You are working at the corporate hellhole.
I'm honestly getting the I'm not angry, just disappointed vibes, and that's worse.
Okay, Dad.
Get the right relationship, and that could turn into daddy.
I charge money for that.
Not anymore, you don't.
Not without a business license, you don't.
Alright, so yeah, you get signed back in, Sunshine. They have you on... well, you're still categorising evidence, but oh my god, the corporate bulldrek in here. With each piece of evidence, you're on a timer, and you have to get them categorised within the time limit, and if your average is below a certain amount of time, it starts warning you about your pay will be docked and dreck like this.
Ugh.
Oh my fucking hell. Okay, well, I think we know where thoroughness and quality of investigation went to die.
Dear God, no wonder they've not caught anyone yet. Well, small mercies. At least they're not trying to get the bombing pegged on Sally. You know, they've caught a bomber. They're looking for someone who did a bomb. Bish bash bosh. But hey ho. Small mercies, small mercies.
That's a fair point, actually.
Roll me a browse there, Sunshine.
Sure thing. Give me 2 seconds. That would be 3 hits.
The folks in the IT department are basically able to monitor a lot of the internal chats between officers and stuff, and one of your jobs is that you have to skim them periodically to make sure that people aren't doing anything they shouldn't.
Yeah.
You do see a couple of chats where there's officers chatting about, hey, we could just, pin that on somebody we caught with several kilos of C4. That, they had a cement bag of C4, and we have a bombing to solve. They're not yet actively out to do it, but there's people discussing it.
Can I hop into that chat as, moderator?
I mean, if you want, you know that it would get traced back to your login and stuff like that if you did.
Is this a good idea or not? I'm tempted.
It is not. Are you going to do it anyway?
I'm tempted to log in and say, yeah, guys.
Don't discuss this in a work group chat where I have to pretend I care and then have to pretend I want to report you.
Ah.
Also, like, do you really think trying to stick the anti-trog bombing on the trog is going to stick?
So, are you actually sending messages to this effect?
Can I roll a judge intentions to try and work out whether or not this is a horrible idea?
If you want, yeah.
Your own intentions?
More to try and get a feel for, do I think this is going to cause horrible problems for me down the line? 2 hits.
I mean, it could go either way, but you'll probably be the office pariah whatever you do if you do this.
Okay, I'm going to phrase it like this. Look, guys, I don't want to have to do this, but I've now seen that you've said this, and I can also see from your profiles that you have completed the Trog sensitivity training. Sorry, the Orcs and Trolls awareness training. So knock it the frag off.
You get a message back that says, "Understood. We'll take it offline."
Good. Also, it's not going to stick. Come on, she's a Trog. Knock it off.
The message you get back says, "We'll discuss this offline."
I'm in danger! Oh, right.
So, what was our plan again? I had a complete brain
We haven't
fart.
got a
Down my
plan
head.
yet. We were spitballing still.
I'm
Mind control the judge into finding her guilty and releasing her with no charges? If all else fails?
Can I do a browse to see if she's getting transferred anytime soon?
If you want, yeah.
Technically, that shouldn't be written in until after she's found guilty. But
Technically, she should get a trial where she's not guilty until proven innocent.
Remember that they may transfer her to a prison to free up a holding cell.
true.
Oh, I only got 1 hit there. That was...
All you can find at the moment is trial set for 3 PM in Precinct 49 Courthouse.
Okay, she's being trialed here, guys. Do you want to wait for her to be trialed and see what happens? Or...
I'm just looking at the map.
Uh-huh.
That courtroom opens into the public lobby and has a fire door.
Okay.
Are we going to do the old fire alarm trick again?
Hey! Quaker, guess what? I have handcuffs again.
I was going to say, if anyone comes anywhere near me with, like, handcuffs or chairs that are bolted to the floor, there'll be no Matthew to come and rescue me this time. Mav, there's a position opening for my beloved bulbous cherub.
Pass. I'm leaving you handcuffed.
Huggy?
Yeah, if I could get in there, I would happily be a bulbous cherub anytime.
Yay! Huggy, you're getting birthday presents this year.
Do you know when Huggy's birthday is?
No, I'm going to assign her a birthday and then give her presents. Are you a Taurus, Huggy? You seem like a Taurus.
What?
Is that a comment on her having horns? That's kind of insensitive, my guy.
No, it's a comment on her steadfast and stable personality and affection towards her friends.
The fuck's a Taurus?
Nice cover.
Literally, study magical history in the Western world. You will do 6 modules on astrology, and it will do weird things to you and send you a bit strange.
I mean, that sounds about right, but that doesn't answer my question.
Oldest identifiable constellation. They've painted it on cave walls in France.
So it's a French star sign constellation?
Yes, it is the French sky cow.
Cool. I don't think I'm a French sky cow.
Not with that attitude, you're not.
but I'm flattered.
Maybe?
I still have the PDF of the essay that I had to do on that. I will send it to you, and it can send you a bit strange too. What were we talking about?
Breaking Huggy out of a courtroom.
While this conversation was happening, Toyger sort of like idly doodled sort of like a map of the night sky with various like magical sigils dotted around it on a notepad. While he's done this, I sort of like attempt to like goad Anthony into saying something so they can have another bitching match.
Tony does look over your shoulder at it and he says, "Oh, not bad. The third star of Orion's belt should be slightly to the left, though. If you leave it there and you try to cast something using that, let's just say you're going to have a fragging awful migraine."
You're actually right about that. I seem to have disaligned the primary thormic couple. Oh, bugger. It just scrumples it up and then, like, acid... What's it? Acid sprays it into, like, a fine mist, which disappears.
Tony just goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. None of that in the office. Dude."
Well, what do you expect me to do? I'm not using the paper shredder. That thing runs on gasoline. Look at it.
It's about as modern and contemporary as a hand-cranked mastodon feeder.
He pulls out his pack of cigarettes, puts them on the table, puts a lighter on top of them and says, "I have a metal trash can."
And I have the power to shoot acid out of my fingertips.
My trash can is metal. Just burn it. I put a condom over that smoke detector 6 weeks ago. Please, just don't use that spell. Do you know how much some of those books are worth?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to buy them myself. I didn't go to some fancy business school where they buy you your grimoires.
The FBI doesn't buy them either. They're mine.
Oh shit, I am so sorry, man.
Yeah. Trash can.
Oh,
lighter.
I will be so careful in future. I cannot apologise enough.
And if the smoke detector starts going off, stick another condom over it.
Don't worry, I won't let the smoke detector get pregnant.
Rid?
Yeah.
At this point, what was the other mage's name?
Tony?
Tony. A message appears on Tony's terminal. Condoms on smoke detector, you say? See me, admin.
You get a message back. He's just frantically texting Toyga. You can see him just hammering his keyboard. Magical formulae should not be left out lying around as per regulation, blah, 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 blah. I have special permission as per station commander's authority. Please see my previous email. Also, I'm FBI, bitch.
Never have I seen such a rapid torrent of bullshit conjured forth. Or conjured first, for that matter. Badumch.
I have worked with a guy that knew the toxic wave spell. Oh boy, he caught a perp with it. We had to give him 6 showers before he stopped stinking.
You're lucky you got the perp back. I've seen that spell liquefy people.
We got his torso back, and his head.
Those are the bits you can try.
Those are the bits you get a confession out of anyway.
Stick a broom down the back of his jumper and prop him up in the witness stand. Be fine.
Worst thing wasn't actually him that did it. It was his brother.
Twins?
No, just his brother.
Well, I'm sure he got some lovely cyber limbs off the police insurance system.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Did they also run on gasoline?
Why are you obsessed with gasoline? Everything runs on batteries.
I don't know. There's a smell in here of gasoline and it's making my brain go a bit strange. I'm going to have to go out and grab a coffee. I'll be back later.
Yeah, that's that's just a reagent jar that leaked. Yeah, can you get me a macchiato? Well, soy macchiato while you're at it.
I can get you a real macchiato while I'm at it. I saw a really nice coffee place about a block down.
Jesus Christ, how much do they pay you?
Not nearly enough for all I do.
All right, I'm not complaining.
So I'm gonna sort of wander off and see if I can't. I had this idea, I enacted it, and then I immediately realised what an awful idea it is. It probably is just going to end up devolving Toyger going for a walk. the plan was wander up to Sally and be like, right, do you have any plan for getting yourself out of here? Because we are not doing well.
We're coming up with half a plan repeatedly, and then getting distracted.
Half a plan is like half a worm.
It will eventually be a whole worm?
That's fine. Half a worm can crawl away and form a new worm.
Bullshit.
We have a plan. That plan simply involves us waiting for Sally to get convicted and then transported somewhere that isn't here. Then we get ourselves onto that transport somehow and we jump it.
I had a plan that preempts that part.
What's your plan?
We wait for when she goes to trial and then cause a ruckus in the courtroom and she gets escorted out the fire exit into the waiting hands of some sons.
And by cause a ruckus, you mean die in a glorious hail of gunfire?
Preferably not. This plan still needs some work.
Look, I know that I'm not going to be the one dying in a glorious hail of gunfire, so if that's your guys' plans for today, I'm not going to get between you and your glorious and bloody death.
Alright, I'm open to suggestions.
I've made my suggestion.
Yep.
We wait for her to be transferred. We find out where, one of you finds out where that vehicle is going. All of you try your best to be either in the vehicle or in the escort. And then when we jump the vehicle and the escort, you guys can attack from the inside.
Yeah, I think that's probably our best bet. Only has a moderate chance of dying gloriously in a hail of gunfire.
So those of you who want to die in a glorious hail of gunfire can get a little bit of that high without the actual dying part.
Yeah, there's a moderate chance of us being gunned down like emus by Australians. That analogy escaped me. But, there's an equally moderate chance.
Well, very, very ineffectually. I'm okay with that.
Just catching the bullets in multiple compartments that mean nothing to the emu.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to emu war this shit. There's going to be a glorious hail of police gunfire, and then we're going to just run away from it.
I mean, you are only a couple of districts away from the Bronx Zoo. Just saying.
I'm going to go straight out there and veto the involvement of actual emus.
They are very effective in warfare. The fuckers don't go down.
Maverick, you never let us do anything fun. You are worse than my actual dad. And then Toyga starts flicking through a grimoire looking to see if emu spirits are a real thing and how to summon them.
I'm scared.
Conjure emu.
Oh no.
So I think the most important thing to do at the moment is somehow get a mic into the hands of Sally Boom Boom.
Do your tapper drones have,
So if she's got there, then she can conceivably plug the tapper drone into her wear, which will give us access to her.
I've got Sally's biometrics in front of me. What cyberware does she have?
So, Sally, what cyberware do you have there?
I am currently having a wee look at her sheet. I don't think she does. I think she might be naked.
gasp?
No, we established last session they left her a paper jumpsuit.
Yeah, sorry. She's technologically naked. I can't, basically, on her sheet, I can't see anything that specifically says that she has any cyberware. So I think she might not have any. I think she might be a maniac.
Well, frag. Okay, guys. Has anyone got a spare, ear mic? Like something tiny we could try and slip her?
If you're trying to slip me something tiny, then, please just reconsider your life.
Darling, all of mine are shop bought. I can assure you they are more than adequate.
Everything better then.
Look, guys, we are trying to frag the police, not each other. Calm down.
Why not both?
Strap in while I strap on, apparently.
I will turn this Shadowrun around.
You know, Sally, we can't just leave you in here.
I direct you once again to my comment about horny jail.
Not even Mav has the dad energy to turn this Shadowrun around.
Okay.
So,
Do the tapper drones themselves have a microphone of some sort in them?
I don't believe so, no.
Yes, they have sensors in them, so yes, they would have a microphone.
Oh, yes, we would have the mic.
They have a microphone. Do they have speakers?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Probably not. They're designed to be stealthy.
Yeah, so they won't have any speakers on them. So we could drop a micro-tapper drone onto her head, and then she could talk to us, but we would have no way of communicating back with her unless...
Tapper drone sign language?
Right in the sand.
Just give it 2 little flags. Semaphore.
Yeah, semaphore spiders are a thing, right?
Okay, so what are the chances that A, Mav knows Morse code, and B, Sally knows Morse code?
It is not on Mav's languages, so I'm going to say 0.
It's not a knowledge skill that Sally has.
Yeah, no, not really. You will not know Morse code at this point.
Morse code is a dead language in the real world, never mind 50 years in the future.
I mean, if the Boy Scouts exist somewhere.
Okay, and nobody's got a spare mic on them, so...
But we have mics, we don't have speakers.
Yeah.
Could someone nab one out of the police usage one and just sneak it into her?
If you want to try and, like, give a headphone, like a little headset, to one of the micro-tappers and try and get them to drag it through the ducting to the cell.
Just an earpiece.
That is going to go horribly wrong.
Yes, it is, but...
It's a kind of adorable mental image, though,
True.
of just this little drone valiantly tugging along this earpiece through the ducts.
I mean, prisoners sneak cigarettes to each other on the backs of cockroaches. This is not that much removed from it.
Really?
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 Yeah, it's a thing. I saw it in Orange is the New Black and thought that can't be real, so I looked it up and yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, you glue a cigarette to the back of a cockroach and then it scuttles through to your roommate's cell. They squish the cockroach and get cigarette.
That seems very cruel to the cockroaches.
They're cockroaches, though. They deserve it.
Yeah, and they are going to survive us. I want them to be nice to us when they take over.
You, for one, welcome our new insect overlords. Huggy, never become a shaman. Please.
Oh, yeah.
I, for one, do not welcome our new insect overlords.
Alright, Chicago. How big is a modern 6-world earpiece? I imagine they can be pretty tiny.
You know the little rubber bit that goes on the end of an earphone that just makes it stay in your ear?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that. And the only reason they're that big is to make sure they don't fall out of your ear roll.
Huggy has slightly bigger ones, but that's because she has bigger ears.
I mean, yeah.
She also has, cyber connections, so she doesn't actually need it, but...
Yours is enormous, but that's because it's like more of a fashion. Like it hooks round the ear and goes in, but it's all silvery and has like fine engravings on it. It's meant to look posh. It's meant to be a fashion piece.
You must get mugged all the time.
I mean, have you met Tiger? He does get mugged all the time.
Yeah, one person tried.
They shot themselves in the leg.
And then another person tried. And then a great many other people tried. Now there are a great many children with like shotgun wounds in their legs.
Anyway, how are we getting Sally out of this place?
Good fragging question.
Could we have the drone, like, scratch a message into the dirt saying, Sally, get ready, or like...
I mean, theoretically.
Or could we just write something really small on a bit of paper, glue that to the back of the drone and send it scuttling in?
Aww.
What's paper?
There's a load of it in this room. I'm not going to damage any of Anthony's grimoires, but there is like some blank jotter paper here.
Doesn't Anthony smoke? Does Anthony roll their own? And if so, maybe you could use cigarette paper?
Yeah, actually, even better.
He's on cigarillos, which are basically cigarette-sized cigars, and they are fucking awful for you.
Yeah, they also stink from 40 paces. But no, there's bound to be just like blank paper in here, because you don't want to put magic in the Matrix, because it tends to do weird things. Yeah, paper. Basically what you do, Huggy, is what you do basically is you get a tree and you mash it up into like a really fine wet pulp, and then you smear that wet pulp across like a football field and you leave it to dry, and then you chop that pulp up into little squares. And you end up with this like flat, dry stuff that you can draw pictures of knobs on.
Sometimes I wonder why Bloodwood Valley hates us so much. And then there are times like this when I'm like, oh yeah, that's why.
If you were an ecosystem, wouldn't you hate metahumanity?
Oh yes, very much so.
Okay, so I'm going to get a bit of blank paper. Dear Sally Boom Boom, hello. It is nice to see that you are well. This is Toiger. We met once. No, that's a bit too formal. Shreds it up and puts it in the metal wheelie bin and starts a fire.
Toiger,
Yes.
next draft, try not incriminating yourself.
Dear Miss Boom Boom, you are in prison. This is most unfortunate. Fear not, we are going to help. Best wishes, XOXOXO, your friends. And then Toiger like just sort of does some like little artistic doodles of what are basically two humans, an orc, and a troll, but no like identifying features.
Are they just stick figures?
Yeah, but like two of them has like very obvious round ears, one of them has tusks, and one of them has horns.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And they're all sort of waving and cheerful, and then he like folds up really small and it's like, right, someone needs to get their attacker drone into this room or somewhere I can glue it to. Like Toiger's at the coffee machine as this is going on.
Are you not going to go to the coffee machine? Or find actual coffee?
No, I'm at the coffee machine. I tried to go out the front door and then some scary sergeant man screamed at me to get back to work and I ran away and hid.
Okay, so could either Mav, Huggy, or Sunshine give me a pilot roll for their Tapper drone to see if they can find their way over there?
We're gonna shortcut this. I have a better plan.
Okay.
Huggy, can you get the Tapper drone from the cells back into the office I put it in?
I can try.
I'm going to get a coffee. I will get the note off Toiger.
Alright, in which case you go over, you get the coffee, you come back,
I get one for Corporal Boring or whatever his name was.
Yeah, we'll go with Corporal Boring.
He has a name.
He has a name, I just can't be bothered to remember it.
I mean, boring is a surname.
If your parents really dislike you.
He keeps trying to explain to you that it's boring as in like the mining drill, and that he comes from a family of miners. And he's tried to explain this to you 3 times now, and honestly, you stop listening about like 3 words in.
Because he is the most boring man to walk this earth.
Yeah, it's when he started going into the mechanics of mineshaft boring that he had just lost you. So, Huggy, could you give me a quick roll for the drone? This will be pilot anthroform, and you get a +1 from the handling.
Cool.
And are you doing this hot sim?
I will be doing this hot sim, yes.
Yeah, so you get a +3 overall.
Oh, I get another 3 dice on top of the 7 hits that I already just got.
So just an additional 2 dice.
Okay, so that's 7 hits only.
So this little drone with the backpack note, it might as well just have a hat, like top hat and cane as it just tap dances through the ducts. And Sully, what are you doing at the moment in your cell?
Cutest thing I've ever heard. Oh my god. So Sally so far has been tased, got into an argument with the humanist next door.
Yeah, he's still whispering, "You gotta die, Trog. They gonna give you the jet. You gotta ride the lightning. The only thing that makes me sad is I ain't gonna be there to see it." And you've just got this constant listening going on, and you're just thinking, shut the frag up.
I think at this moment, Sally is just using big words that he won't know what they mean to annoy him.
Words like should, not, flavor, wooden. Big complicated ones.
Oh yes, very difficult, very much. I think she's also just occasionally slipping into Gallic to just really fuck with him.
Washing machine, helicopter.
So, what are you doing in your cell other than, trying to ignore the dreckhead in the cell opposite you?
Okay, I think Sally's somewhat hopeful that her brothers are going to come and get her, but at the same time, she's also aware that this might not be a full possibility, just because shit might go down. So I think she is also trying to think up a plan of action for escape, but that's just something she's doing in the background of. So she's thinking about, okay, so if they have this many guards when they escort me, I could try this. If they take me to the dock, I can try that. She's that sort of planning. But because she's also psychotic, most of her plans are, I wonder if I could create a bomb from a combination of fecal matter and urine and then blow up the judge.
So she's trying to do complex chemistry in her head. Is she just lying on the bed or something like that?
Yep, she's doing the thing that I sometimes do, where she's kind of sitting upside down on the bed. So she's got her back flat against the bed, her legs up the wall, and her head hanging off the side.
Ah, she's increasing blood flow to her brain to make the thinky box go faster.
Yes, it makes the brain go brrr.
So, while you're doing this, something lands on your stomach and starts crawling up. It feels like it's moving around. Ugh. And bear in mind, because they do not want you topping yourself before you go to trial.
I'm in paper underwear at this point.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think she fully catapults off, she does a roly-poly off the bed and starts smacking at herself like, ah!
You're practicing for the chair, Trog!
Oh.
Or they're gonna make you do the hemp fandango.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Hemp fandango.
Frankly, I'm amazed this guy knows how to pronounce fandango.
He doesn't know what it means, though.
Begins composing second letter. Dear humanist piece of shit. Shut the frag up, or I will light you on fire and feed you to demons from the hell dimensions. Best wishes, Toiger is badly scratched out. Not Toiger or any Shadowrunner. Named XOXOXO.
Yeah, so you've received the... there's a bug on your belly right now, Sally.
Oh... So, okay. Should I roll perception to see if I can see that this poor little thing is holding a note, probably frantically offering it, like, please no!
Yeah, go for it.
Friend!
Please no! Oh. Does she have perception as a separate skill? I don't think she does. What's the default for perception?
Intuition -1.
Okay, right, I think... Does she have it? No, she doesn't. Oh, God. Please spot the tiny little thing. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, that is in fact a critical glitch.
No!
Oh, no!
It's so tragic. No!
Sally, no!
Tiny spider.
So it turns out that Sally has this god-awful freak-out fear of bugs, and one's just landed on her stomach.
She thinks it's a tick, and she's always had a terrifying fear of Lyme's disease.
Does Sally have unarmed combat?
I think she does.
Could you roll your unarmed combat for me, please?
Destroy this tiny little thing. Poor thing.
These tapper bugs are not having the best luck. Oh, that you roll 5 hits on.
No!
Give me your reaction +2, Huggy. That'll reduce the amount of damage slightly.
That's 7 hits.
Oh god, Sally misses.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you actually are. Oh, I don't get to dump shop the rigger. I'm disappointed. All right. So, yeah. The bug You go to slap your stomach, and there's a resounding crack throughout the cell. You actually get echo off that when you slap your stomach.
Oh, fucking hell.
And the bug just kind of goes doop, 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 out the way. Huggy, are you doing anything at this point? You're in the drone.
How fast can one... Okay, oh god, oh fuck. Oh flag, oh flag, oh flag. Okay, so I can either jump out and just lose this thing, or stay in and try and communicate with this oh flag, oh flag, oh flag.
It's speed 10, so you can move up to 10 meters per 3 seconds, so it's up to you, buddy.
Right, I'm going to get behind, like, so the bed is like a plastic sheet, not sheet, like a plastic board.
It's molded plastic that's built into the wall of the cell. It's all like rounded corners and stuff like that.
I'm going to try and get under the bed.
You can't get under it. There's like no room to get under it.
Oh, right.
It's a prison cell. They've designed it so like you can't hide anything underneath it or anything like that.
Even a tiny spider?
You can probably crawl down the back of the rubber mattress.
Yeah, that's where we go.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Especially if somebody's scared of arachnids. That's the worst. Oh. I think Sally is now at the other end of the thing, just nowhere near that mattress, making small, like, just small noises like...
The racist dreckhead opposite you is just laughing his ass off right now.
So my suggestion is going to be, Huggy, if you can scuttle up onto the wall slightly above head height and then sort of wiggle back and forth in such a way that you're like not moving like a bug, hopefully that will give Sally enough time to realise, right, this bug is strange. Actually look at it. Oh, it appears to be robotic. Oh, it's got a bit of paper on it. Like, hopefully she comes to her senses and picks it up.
Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go round the edge of the mattress to the opposite side, so that the problem is that the racist draghead might see that she's got a note.
In which case she immediately eats the note, or hides it in her mouth, and then just says, oh, that guy's been shouting abuse at me constantly, and the police, like, kick his head in.
Probably to agree with him, but yeah, it would reduce his credibility.
Huggy's going to crawl around the side of the mattress.
Oh.
Okay, give me... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to worry about an infiltration roll, because you've got so many bonuses as a micro drone, and Sally doesn't have the perception skill, so you manage it. We're just going to save time on that one, because we know what the result will be. And so, yep, you're around the other side of the mattress.
I'm imagining that the mattress is long ways towards the door.
Yep, it is.
And Sally is currently on the other side of the cell.
Yep.
So I am going to the far long end of the mattress. Far short end of the mattress, rather. So if it's a rectangle, I'm on the short side.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am going to...
While this is happening, Sally, what are you doing? Bearing in mind that apparently Sally is terrified of bugs.
Yeah, trade.
Our parents were from Chicago, okay?
Sally is, from what I've gleaned from people who actually do have arachnophobia or other types of insect phobia, she is just, her eyes are on that. It's like she's not looking away from it because it might suddenly decide to move towards her and she has to run away again.
Roll me a composure check. I'm going to say that if you get less than 3 hits, you're staying the frag away from that thing. If you get more than 3 hits, nope, beat that thing to death.
1.
Nope. You're cowering. You're freaking the fuck out and staying well away from that thing. You're not quite composed enough to beat it to death.
No. She's at the. She's basically every time it moves around, she moves perpendicular to keep away. But to make things a bit she is watching it like a hawk. So if it does anything a bit weird, that might catch her attention. I don't know.
Right. So, is there any, what's the floor on this place like?
It is tiles. Well, it's like a molded plasticrete tray that's been put in. Basically, they've designed this entire cell so that you can clean it out with a jet wash. It slopes down to the door, and the corridor has like a slight slope on it and a drain running down the middle of it.
So, as a question, how clean is this floor?
I mean, not that bad. The way they clean these cells is after a prisoner's taken out, somebody goes in with a hot jet wash that sprays disinfectant.
What I'm going to see if I can try and scratch a sun's logo into the plastic or into the grime on the side of the wall or something like that.
There isn't really any grime, but if
You can probably scratch the tile.
Yeah, you can scratch a logo into the plasticrete. It wouldn't last. As soon as it got wet, it would disappear, but you can scratch something into it.
Yeah, I'll try and scratch the flaming eye onto the side of the wall.
Okay. Despite my temptation, I'm not going to make you roll for that. So, Sally, how are you reacting to seeing this little bug carve the emblem of the Sons of Sauron into the tiles?
My greatest love born from my greatest hate. What is this?
The bug then starts sort of frantically gesturing at the note on its back.
Roll me a perception check. I'll give you a +4 at this point because you've got your eyes on it like a fragging hawk.
Just done that as well, so...
And it's doing weird things.
I got a 1.
That's enough. You can see that it's got 2 arms up and it's pointing at itself.
Oh god, okay. She's not completely thick. She's... Okay, this is... So either this is a trained spider or a mechanical thing.
Hold on. I've just realised something. So that is one success, but with a glitch. So you know that this bug is pointing at itself, but you also think it's making sort of boogly 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 gestures at you.
Oh, okay. Something is fucking with me and I don't need this today. Okay.
You go die, Trog! Just constantly in the background.
I'm going to shove the biggest tusk I can find so far down your throat that they're going to be able to make out the patterns in your intestines. Okay. Right.
The police cockroach is taunting you.
This is so cool. Okay. She's going to start edging incredibly carefully towards the Iosauron, and she's going to just sort of, so out loud, not trying to hide it, but she's going to try and speak in a way that just sounds like she's being a bitch. It's like,
does she speak Orzet?
Yeah, actually, that's a great idea. So in Orzet, she's, but she keeps it angry, so it could be that she's cursing this guy out. So it's something along the lines of, are you an actual spider trying to torment me in my time of peril? Or are you just one of my friends making a very, very bad decision?
From behind you, there's screaming of, "Don't you go talking that pig Latin with me, Traug! Talk proper language!"
Why you don't?
I'm going to tase this guy so hard.
Please do. I need a shower after playing this guy.
Right, so the bug looks at you for a second and then taps the sun symbol.
Oh god, okay. She edges close to it again and she tears a strip off the, not enough to be indecent, but she tears a strip off the paper underwear and puts it on the ground, holding a corner of it for the insect to crawl onto.
Very, very cautiously, the insect crawls onto it.
And the whole time she's making retching noises no, oh, okay, no. And lifts it up, holding it out like it's a very, very suspicious sock. And just look.
Like the sock you found in a teenage boy's bedroom.
Yep, just between two, like not even between her fingers, between her her nails are pinching this piece of paper, just like ah. So she's brought it up to eye level. Should I roll perception again?
Yeah, same bonus as before. I'm going to say, actually, that you get... I gave you a +4 last time. I'll give you a +5 this time, because you're even closer, and you're actually really closely looking at this thing.
Yep. If this fails, then it is simply her arachnophobia just not willing to cooperate. Two and two fails, yep.
And no glitch.
No
Wonderful.
glitch.
So, what's the drone doing at this point, Huggy?
The drone is keeping perfectly still.
It's not making boogly gestures at her this time.
No. That doesn't seem to have worked last time, so this time we're like, no, okay, so we just hold still, and hopefully... I remember the last time I had dump shock, it wasn't fun. Should I like, cold sim this? But if I cold sim this, then I'm going to frag up. Oh, frag. Actually, at this point, I will switch to cold sim.
And yeah, you actually notice the note on its back there, Sally.
I have to touch it! No!
Did she at least notice that it's made of plastic and metal?
Yeah?
It still looks like an insect!
What if it has a proboscis?
Damn it, Tiger, stop helping.
Oh, God, okay.
It's the mandibles that one of them has like a tiny little monofilament chainsaw, and the other one has a pair of wire cutters.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Please, can you... She lowers it back to the ground and goes, please, can you drop that? In Orzets, obviously.
How does one translate, this is glued to my back?
Just like a really sassy hand gesture.
The bug is going to... Right. Huggy is going to attempt to see if she can, like, scratch the note off her back.
So you've just screwed up your willpower and every ounce of that you've got, and managed to grab this note off the little insectoid bug robot thing.
Yeah, I think as she's peeling it off, she just keeps occasionally making very soft, high-pitched noise like... very gentle little screams.
The race Drackhead is just screaming something about, he's gonna make a necklace out of your tusks or something, or blah 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 blah, usual crap.
Blah 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 blah, yeah. Your those noises when I fuck her!
And, oh god, he's actually frothing, and there's spittle flying everywhere, and the booking sergeant comes down to the end of the corridor, and...
Yeet the insect!
And he holds the stun baton just close enough to the bars of the unoccupied cell that the electricity starts arcing. And there's that classic taser clicking noise, and he's just yelling, am I going to have to come down there, or are you going to shut the frag up so I can watch the game?
I'm going to see... Sally's going to say nothing. She's just going to see if the dickhead's going to dig himself a deeper hole.
The dickhead just covers his crotch and retreats to the back of his cell silently. And there's just over the clicking of the taser baton, you hear the guard say, thought so, as he turns around and goes back up the stairs. And then from the guards area, you hear, I fucking missed it! Seriously!
Right, so Sally now has a nice, shiny, new little rolled-up note.
Awesome. Remind us, Toyga, I think it was you that wrote it. What does it say?
There's a little picture on it.
So there is some questionable artwork, especially given his degree.
It's a knowledge skill, not an active skill.
So remind us roughly what it says.
Dear Miss Boom Boom, you are in prison. This is not desirable. Fear not, help is on the way. Please be ready. Best wishes, XOXOXO, and then the doodles.
Cool.
I can tell that whoever wrote this had a liberal arts degree.
It's a fine arts degree, thank you.
Oh, there we go.
Harsh.
Does he, though?
Yeah, I've got... Well, no, I don't actually, but I've got most of one.
Can I do a memory thing to see if I would remember specifically, if I would remember the team I worked with and kind of go, yeah, you know.
Yeah, go on. Logic plus intuition.
So I rolled one, but I got three misses, 3 ones. So my mistake. So I rolled a hit and I got 3 ones.
7 dice, doesn't matter.
Yeah, so with 1 hit, yeah, you recently worked with a team that has 2 humans, an orc and a troll. You spent some time with the orc. You taught him how to make bombs. They seemed alright. You can't remember much more. They helped...
We helped you blow up a hospital.
They did help you with a job.
I think Sally stares very, very hard at the picture and then just goes, laundromat, yes. And then, like, I think that's where they met. Smiles fondly at the picture. It's like, oh, sweet, they're trying to save me. Oh.
Hug nods furiously.
I forgot you were still here.
Good feelings all gone.
I imagine doing that little dance that some Beatles do, where they sort of straighten the legs on one side and then the other, to sort of shimmy back and forth while staying in the same place, sort of doing that. Like,
Oh, that's
yeah.
so cute.
Yeah, I did a good job. I delivered my message. I'm the best little tappadrone. Yeah.
Yes, you are, buddy. And if Sally wasn't so frightened of you, I would praise you so hard.
From the opposite cell, you can just hear this, "Get me tased in the dick again, Trog, and I'm gonna throw Drek at you!"
Oh, gosh, when I'm done with you, there won't be a dick to tase.
We could keep this up, but you keep your fragging voice down!
Okay.
Alright, that's the only fragging thing we agree on!
Yes, we can whisper, and I'm going to whisper such horrible nothings to you that you are going to pass out from the lack of blood to your face.
I only wish it was me that could strangle you, Trog, but at least you know how to be quiet.
You strangle your own dick enough, so yeah, you've probably got a lot of practice with that.
Stop kink-shaming me!
You want me to not kink shame? You shame everything about me.
I don't shame your kinks, just the way you were born.
That's worse.
You don't get how that's worse, right?
Are we hearing all of this over the bug?
I'm gonna say yeah, why the frack not?
So I guess you're sort of like sitting with like fingers on temples, like thumb and forefinger on temple, thumb on jaw, staring into space with a look of abject horror, like.
Tony just hands you a hip flask of, you're not really sure what it is, but it stinks of alcohol, and says, yeah, I wouldn't have A-sensed that either. Drink up.
If I knew no better, I'd say this was Hurlg.
I'm not suicidal.
Ah.
Oh wait, I want to roll my wine tasting active skill.
It's not wine.
I mean,
It's not wine.
if you want, you can roll your wine tasting skill.
I wouldn't.
Roly poly. 2 hits.
For a man employed by the FBI, why is this guy drinking stuff that tastes like orange juice that's been distilled in a prison radiator?
What do you think the FBI does with all that moonshine?
It's not the 1920s.
Yeah, see?
The moonshine industry made a real comeback.
No, it gets sold at really niche bars as this like really expensive historical experience.
Alcohol gets better as it gets older, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, fuck me.
This tastes like it was brewed in a workie's boot. And the workie had athlete's foot.
Oh.
And it was brewed in the left boot.
Tony just smiles at you and says, "Yep." but it does make you forget the dreck that you A-sense in this job.
Oh, right, I was meant to be sensing stuff, wasn't I? Let's just have a wee look at... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
Tony just takes the flask off you and takes a concerningly long swig of it, hands it back to you and says, I told you not to A-sense that.
Why are you drinking this horrible stuff, and why are you making me do it as well? Glug, glug, glug,
I'm
glug,
making
glug.
you do nothing. I'm just handing you the flask.
Glug, glug,
The
glug,
reason
glug,
I'm drinking
glug,
it is to forget
glug, glug, glug,
after
glug,
A-sensing that.
glug, 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 glug.
Stop draining the flask, Tiger. It's not even yours. That's rude.
Oh, Tony's got a bottle of this stuff in his bottom drawer.
I'm assuming that when you say like flask, the implication is hip flask, but I'm imagining more like the sort of flasks that you bring coffee to work in.
Yeah.
Oh, like a thermos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm changing that. It's a thermos flask.
Oh, God.
Oh, it'll have that awful metallic taste. Ugh.
You can't taste the metallic over the orange and the almost fungal smell.
Toya, when you look inside this thing, it's stripped the chrome off the inside of the thermos flask.
Ugh.
It's not so much eating through the plastic as reacting with it, and...
So, anyway, you've got the note there, Sally. You've understood the contents, and you've eaten it.
Yep.
To the rest of the team, is there anything that you're doing between now and...
Oh, wait. Oh, can I mildly retcon eating it?
Yeah, if you want.
There's probably nothing in here for me to write on.
No. Unless you want to chew the end of a finger until it bleeds.
Sally's... Sorry, I find that repulsive. Sally might. Sally honestly could. I think, just to be sensible about it, I think Sally would probably chew off a hangnail as opposed to, like, biting the tip of a finger.
Yeah, fair. So, are you writing a note back with this?
In your own blood.
I think, because she's, yeah, probably not something very fucking legible, because again, have you tried to write with blood? It's not very effective. So...
Yes.
I'm concerned how you know this. Toiga, I know why you know it, Toiga, and I don't want to know anymore.
Oh, no, this isn't Toiga this isn't Toiga knowing this. This is Jack knowing this.
Yeah, we know why you know it, Jack.
It's not a very effective ink. She just writes one letter in it very clumsily, and it's just K. K, and then a space, TX, meaning thanks. K, thanks.
But there is a thing in like the Shadowrun lore where being able to handwrite is sort of like a weird niche skill your granny has.
That doesn't surprise me, but I mean, you could...
To be fair, Sally was raised by her granny, so...
I'm gonna say that being able to handwrite nicely would be an incredibly niche skill, but being able to write 3 letters, it's not too bad, because that's just the equivalent of, copying a symbol.
Yep, so I give the very... And again, she's trying to be nice, but she can't hide the utter horror on her face as she tries to hand this tiny note back to the little insect.
Huggy, I'm just going to save us a roll because your roll earlier was so spectacular that you're probably going to get enough hits again. So you just get this note back to Mav. It's currently...
I'm not entirely sure why we need to get this note back to Mav, since we were already, we've got the speakers.
Yeah, you can just communicate it to them so you don't need to. Even better.
She doesn't know that. There's a robot bug in her cell who's brought her love letters.
So, the trial time is 3 p.m. It's currently getting on for about 12:30 at the moment. Is there anything that you folks are wanting to do between now and go time?
Somebody should walk the route between the cells and the courtroom just to check for is there a really obvious first floor window? Is there a chute that says all prisoners please escape here?
I'll save you some time because you've got access to a floor plan. Basically, they get taken out through booking, they go down through the main patrol area, and they get taken through the public lobby into the courtroom. It's likely to be under guard because they're not fucking stupid. Well, not entirely. The most open area is probably the public lobby, but they're not going to take chances.
So is our plan wait for Sally to get assigned to be moved somewhere else, and then Huggy runs that van off the road, and we are valiantly abducted while attempting to prevent the abduction of this prisoner?
My only concern with that plan is there a chance that may lead to a huge citywide manhunt to try and get us back? Whereas if we make it look like we aided and abetted the escape...
Is there not a huge manhunt to get you back?
Well, it's less of a huge manhunt than if the police think one of... It's the difference between, oh, god damn it, criminal got away, versus one of our own has been taken. Like, light the beacons and blow the horns.
Why are we lighting beacons and blowing horns?
So, 2 suggestions at the moment. Suggestion number 1 is we're in the van gets intercepted, and a prisoner and 4 police officers get abducted. My issue with the plan of if we all just vanish when the police van gets raided by the Suns is the police then go on a war footing believing that 4 police officers have just been kidnapped, and they will tear the fucking city apart to find them. Or, if we aid and abet, and are seen to aid and abet the escape of a wanted criminal, they then go, god damn it, 1 wanted criminal got away, and also we let 4 other,
4 other criminals have had the run of our station
department
for God knows how long. We cannot let anyone know about this. Equally, we cannot let the FBI be embarrassed by a station that they had control of being infested like this. So the whole problem just quietly is swept under the rug by the FBI leader type's powerful friends. The whole thing just goes away. Awesome, let's do that then.
So we then need to get at least one of us, possibly 2, assigned to Sally's prisoner escort.
Wow, if only one of us was on the patrol circuit.
Indeed, and if only one of us had access to, the assignment systems and hacking skills.
Yeah, that sure would be convenient, wouldn't it?
Mighty convenient. Given that you're trying to do this surreptitiously...
Yep.
Could you give me an edit unauthorized, followed by a stealth, please, Sunshine?
Yes. Edit unauthorized. Okay, that was not a good edit roll, but I also need to roll the stealth. So I'm not going to spend my last point of edge on that edit.
Okie doke.
The dice hate me.
I would post edge that second one.
That is almost a glitch. That is 1 hit. I shall be edging that with my very last point of edge.
I am not surprised.
I think you need to change the colour of your dice.
4
Michael.
hits, that's a bit better. Whew. Okay, well that's the last point of edge gone.
A few moments after you've done this, you feel a hand shaking you on the shoulder, and you kind of come out of VR going, what? What's going on? And you see Sergeant Milton standing next to you, looking down at you, and every time he takes that damn VR headset off, who the frag uses one of those these days anyway, his toupee rotates about 30 degrees, and at this point is hanging around the back of his right ear somewhere. And he says, why are you changing duty rosters? Thank you for spending some time with us and listening to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show and look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks' time for our next episode. In the meantime, the sub-vocal mic is truly the runner's most ardent ally, though our Tapper drone is making a valiant play for the title. What's the best way you've ever sent a message? Let us know via Tapadrone or Discord. Intro is More Human Than Human by Karl Casey, and the background music is also by Karl Casey. Outro music is Neon Thrills by Luck Hash, and all sound effects are credited in the show notes. The Tops Company Inc. has granted permission to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or any other proprietary material for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with the Pride Against Prejudice podcast in any official capacity whatsoever. All other works mentioned in this podcast remain the property of their respective owners. The Pride Against Prejudice podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license, so if you want to use any part of the show, please give us the credit. See you next time, chummers.